You live in a lie, you know. Web of the lies created by Illuminati, NVO, New World Order, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, all these pedophiles, you know. All these pedophiles, you know, who are preying on the båphåmeth, you know. Yes, Tartarian Empire, you know, created it all 200 years ago, 300 years ago already, you know. Humanity, you know, what comes to, you know, advanced technology, you know, we are not peaking now, you know. Well, we have a cell phones, you know, great, you know, we have computers, great, I mean, normal people, as a normal citizen, you know. It's great, you know, it's kind of great, you know, I can do this posting, you know. Well, even that is impressive for me, kinda, you know. But when you understand, you know, we used to have a free electricity, you know, in the cities, you know. The buildings itself, you know, all the Tartarian buildings, you know, see, you know, all the towers you see in these buildings, you know, they were for a purpose, you know. They were the towers, you know, were collecting the free electricity from the air, you know. And somehow they collected the energy from the air, you know. Well, Nikola Tesla, you know, excuse me, he used the same shit, you know. I mean, technology, you know. But guess what happened to Tesla, you know? Same thing that happened to Tartarians, you know. They destroyed, they stole his idea, you know. They didn't let him to, you know, publish it, you know, and become, you know, main energy source of the world, you know. Tesla was a good person, you know. He wanted the free energy for the world, you know. He was very advanced, you know. But what happened to him, you know? They robbed him, you know. They mocked him, you know. They made him poor as fuck, you know. He died alone, you know. That's what happened to Tesla, you know. Well, same happened to Tartarians, you know. Somehow Illuminati, you know. Well, fuck Illuminati, yeah. But they're scary in this way, you know. They can weathercast, you know. Somehow in 1776, you know, they created the mud floods, you know, that wiped whole fucking world off, you know. Europe at least, you know, and USA and everything, you know, Tartarian, you know. The buildings, you know, basically it's quite proven, you know, they're still underground, you know. So somehow Illuminati, or what was the pre-Illuminati, you know, same Luciferians, you know, same satanic people who wants to degenerate the people, you know, to go backwards, you know. They want you to be slave, actually, you know. Tartarians, you know, they didn't want you to be the slave, you know. First of all, you know, Tartarians, yes, as I explained, you know, free energy, you know, free devices, you know, job with a purpose, you know. I don't know if they had a currency, maybe some type of exchange currency they probably have, you know, to keep the system, you know, ethical, you know. But as I said, you know, it was ethical still, you know, free, as I said, free energy, you know, for everybody, you know. And what comes to Bell's example, you know, this is latest, you know. They were still here in a World War II, you know. So Bells, you know, Tartarians got it all, you know. They understood, you know, sound frequencies, you know, and that's why they use the bells all around, you know. There used to be millions and hundreds of thousands of bells, you know, everywhere, you know. So bells created some type of healing energy, you know, when they ring those bells, you know. So that's why Nazis, you know, Illuminati and everybody, they took those bells off, you know. And they're super rare nowadays, or they're too small, you know, to create those vibrations, you know. So this is latest, you know. This was World War II, you know, so it's 100 years ago, you know. Okay? So they wiped the last you know, Tartarian inventions off, you know. Tartarians, well, think about, you know, last one, you know, nail of the coffin, you know. They didn't have a toilets in the buildings, you know. Why? Because they didn't take a shit, you know. Maybe they urinated, you know, probably they had a genitals, you know, since they can make a kids, you know, and multiply, you know. But somehow, they didn't have a motherfucking toilets in the buildings, you know. Why? Tell me why you don't have a toilet in a building, you know. In the whole fucking building, you know, and you live there, you know. Well. You are full of shit, you know. Well, I do my studies, you know. I'm Tartarian, you know. I'm Emperor of New Tartaria, you know. I've been doing my fastings, you know. I've been doing my coffee enemas, you know. My longest fasting, 34 days, you know. No food at all, you know. No shitting, you know. No shit. Latest fasting I did, you know, 25 days last summer, you know. No shitting at all, you know. Only urinating, you know. I'm sticking on the Tartaria, I understand, you know. You don't, you know. You're full of shit, you know. You're a slave of the food, you know. You're a slave of the electricity, you know. You're a slave of the drugs, you know. You're a slave of the sex, you know. You're a pedophile, probably. You're a pervert, you know. You're full of shit, you know. And all you do is eat and shit, you know. And at the best, you know, you eat another people's kids, you know, for the adrenochrome, you know, as Illuminati does, you know, proven, you know. Really, Illuminati, you know, makes these people, the kids go so scared, you know, they release all the fucking, you know, hormones in their brain, you know. Then they got the brains off, you know, and find the glands, you know, inner brain glands, you know, and eat those glands, you know. And in the Pizzagate, you know, menu, it's called walnut sauce, you know. The walnut resembles as a brain, you know, and that small gland, you know. So they make a blend about it, you know, and drink it, and that's adrenochrome, you know. And that's your new world, you know, you're living in, you know. These people make your rules, you know. You're a slave of these people. Me ain't. Tartaria.